Well, I was going to cover the lore of Vex, she even got her short story just a few days ago, but yesterday Arcane dropped quite the bomb. So suddenly, plans changed. You see, 2 days ago we got a small trailer that was just showcasing some of the main characters of the series. We really just got a quick shot of each of them without their face, so we were left guessing as to who these people could be. But then, the day after that, we got official promo art featuring and naming all the main characters. And people, here the game changes. Because as many of you may know now, some really cool, well-known characters were revealed to be part of the series. So without further ado, let's have a look at what the heck happened yesterday. It all started when we got a new official website for the Arcane series, which really gave us nothing but this background. There is nothing really to say about this apart from the fact that this is the family house of Caitlyn. It has the same 2 keys which were shown in the shot where we could see Caitlyn's family photo. Also, see that construction site in the back? That might be the building with the laser device which will appear later in the series. But that's really it about that. The more important reveal comes from the images, all of which can be paired with the previous teaser. So let's talk about it all together. First, there was this shot, which absolutely, obviously is Vi. But here notice that she's no longer dressed in her rugged clothing. So I believe this adult version of her comes from the time when she was about to join the Wardens. And this was revealed in this image, which showed us that of course it is Vi. And here, because she already has the Atlas gauntlets, I wonder if the show is just gonna time skip forward, or if it is going to show us the story how Vi saved all the Zoanite miners, and how she got the original gauntlets of the mining golem. After Vi, we got this close shot at Jinx's guns. Of course, there's no question, this is Jinx. And this is paired to this image. Here I was wondering if she's holding some earlier version of her Zappy gun, because the red and green technology in it looks a bit weird, but going back to the 2-minute teaser, you can see that the design fits perfectly, so I don't think anything will change with that gun. Regardless, just like the majority of the series, here Jinx is pretty much in her sane form. She didn't go crazy just yet. But in the image inside her, you can see that she is going to get mentally scarred by that other friend they had, and you can also see some of the new toys which she is going to use. After her, we got this very confident looking man. With this clean shaven face, I was really wondering if maybe this guy was the guy which we have seen in all the billboards around Piltover. But even if it's not, I am very happy to say that this man with this very specific vest and this very specific tie, using what is known as the Atlantic knot, is Victor. And boy oh boy does this throw a lot of theories out the window. I am really excited about this. But honestly, this means that when we go back to the kid friends that they had at the beginning, you know, this crazy guy and the plumpy guy, that means that these are likely not gonna be Victor and Jayce. Because if this is Victor, it can't be the other kid, which we have seen in their adult form in the other shots. So unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case. Unless this takes place even further down the storyline, and therefore he grows up into this. In that case, he could be Victor. But see the black spot on his face? The kid doesn't have that. So even though their eyebrows are somewhat similar, I still don't think that's Victor. But it's still not impossible, this entire thing has so many outcomes. But still, we got Victor in this series. And I absolutely love this. My excitement is so much higher now. Of course, later in the trailer there is also this shot of a guy holding a cane. But this is also Victor. Because back here in this image you can actually see him holding the cane. However, Victor is not the only one newly shown for this series. Because despite him not being shown in that animated teaser, Jayce was also confirmed in the promo art. So we are going to see the origins of the rivalry between Jayce and Victor. Or rather the relationship in which Jayce is constantly going after Victor without Victor really caring. Character-wise, Victor has always been one of my favorite characters in the entirety of the League of Legends universe. He is just such an interesting character. So to see him in action here, with Jayce, is gonna be insane. Once again, I am really excited about this. Then the teaser showed this woman with a white dress, with what seems to be golden jewelry, and a golden ring with a very specific cross. This is the woman that was shown in some of the other teasers before, and here her name is revealed to be Mel. Even in the image inside her, you can see that the cross is likely the crest of her house. We don't really know what house she's going to represent, but she is going to be one of the main Piltover nobles. But after her, we got another bomb dropped in. We got an obvious shot of Caitlyn, and this is tied to this image. There are a lot of things which we can point out here. First of all, you can see that she looks a little bit Asian, which makes sense because Piltover is a place where cultures mix. And so it is absolutely possible that she would have some Ionian heritage. Also, as a cool detail, she will be voiced by an Asian voice actress. When it comes to the clothing, of course, she does not have her hat just yet. We'll see if Riot will retcon this. But on Universe, the story called The Thrill of the Chase hinted at the fact that she got her hat from Devaki. It was a criminal that was originally supposed to lead her to sea. But since it was never specifically mentioned that she took Devaki's hat and actually kept it, you know, maybe she just said, hey, it's a nice hat, but I'm not gonna use it. Regardless, the reason why she does not have her head here just yet is because even though she is one of the wardens, here she is probably just an officer. She is not one of the main investigators just yet, and she has not gone through the stories on Universe yet. But in hindsight, what is fascinating about that is that the hat which will likely be used in the visual update, the one that she's wearing now, was actually seen in the family photo when she was a kid. So now it is possible that Devaki was involved in the murder of Caitlyn's parents, and she just managed to get the hat back. But what's interesting here is the picture inside her. There we can see the two keys, which seems to be hinting at the fact that Caitlyn will try to solve the mystery of who killed her parents. We then got a shot of this plumpy looking man, which originally I thought was one of the childhood friends, but you know, when they grow older. However, comparing this to the other teasers, this is actually the guy who was interrogated by the wardens. He has the same jacket with the same bolts in it. But this guy is going to be important because he was also named in the art. This is Vander, and he's one of the main characters. Now, here's an interesting thing. It's not undeniable that this could be Warwick. Warwick was a broken man when Singed found him, and apparently he forgot his own name. So we really don't know who he was before Singed transformed him. But here's the catch. Remember the fire? Warwick remembers Jinx. He remembers Jinx being involved in some kind of catastrophe. You know, a catastrophe which was hinted at in the other teasers. So if Warwick is involved in whatever storyline is going to happen with Jinx, it is absolutely possible that this could be Warwick. We really don't know anything about this guy, but it all lines up really well. Dinka also pointed out another cool thing. While Vi was still in Zone, in her bio it was mentioned that she met a person who became her mentor in a bar in the Lanes. The Lanes were confirmed to be one of the main locations of this series. So based on the image inside him, it is highly likely that this is the guy who taught Vi how to fight with discipline. And this gets super interesting when you pair it with the Warwick quote against Vi, where he simply says, "Who taught you how to punch?" So yep, it is actually very likely that this guy may be Warwick. And for the last one, we got the name of the villain revealed. This guy is Silko. And unfortunately, I don't think that this guy is Warwick, and I really don't think this guy is Mundo. I believe that this guy has a new name, Silko, because they are the villain and they can die. They can be removed from the story should Riot wish to do so. Now, with all the characters set, let's talk about the relationships between them. Looking at who they are, I noticed that it is likely that the series will be segregated into different stories. But every now and then, those stories will intersect. First of all, there is obviously gonna be the story of Vi and Jinx. Their story will likely take place around the guy who screwed them. You know, the same guy they were punching in the machine. But they will also deal with the new character who is likely to be the next champion. Which, by the way, was not revealed in any of these images. I think. Storyline number 2 will be around Caitlyn. She will be on the main case trying to deal with the main villain. But since we know that eventually Vi will join the Wardens, her story will definitely cross with Vi at some point. Storyline number 3 will be Jayce and Victor. The two will try to take hold of as many hex crystals as they can, because with the power of those, their inventions will be better than their rivals. And by the way, yes, I do believe that Jayce's face is the one found in the background. But here's the thing, one of the hextech crystals which Victor was holding in the teaser is in the box from which Jinx steals one. So the stories of Jinx and Victor will cross as well. And lastly, there is Mel and Vander. And I believe these two will have their own story, which will represent the main political problems of Piltover against Zaun. We know that there will be some kind of a civil war. And so I believe that these two will represent the quote-unquote common people of those two cities. Mel is one of the typical Piltover nobles, and Vander is one of the typical people who are trying to barely survive in Zaun. So these two might be the key to the overall story. But I still hope that Zaun goes up in fire and this guy turns into Warwick. But that's it for all the characters revealed. I am very excited to see Victor and Jayce in this. I wouldn't be surprised if they stole the show. Especially Victor. It is especially going to be cool to see Victor's point of view on life in general. And how he's going to make questionable machinery, which is legitimately going to save lives. But that is it for this video. If you still have some characters which you would like to see in this series, feel free to tell me. I wouldn't be surprised if Singed wasn't at least referenced. And I still think that we will get one more teaser for that one character who will likely become the next champion. With that said, if Fonib gets at least a reference, I'll be a very happy man.